back, Philippines and Vietnam is celebrating its 40th year of bilateral relations today, July 12. Diplomatic relations between the two sides started to blossom in July 1976, a year after the reunification of North and South Vietnam upon the signing of a joint communique by then Philippine Foreign Minister Carlos P. Romulo and Vietnamese Vice Prime Minister for Foreign Affairs Phan Hien. Asean in Focus's resident resource person, Dr. Carlos Tabunda Jr., interviewed the Ambassador of Vietnam, Truong Trieu Dong. Watch this.
Good afternoon, Ambassador.
Good afternoon.
Nice for you to be with us in this show. Okay, one of the main reasons for this interview is, of course, we will be celebrating on July 12, 2016, a very important occasion between the Philippines and Vietnam. What it is again, sir? We're celebrating the 40th?
It is the 40th. Yeah, this is the 40th anniversary of the establishment of the bilateral diplomatic relations between Vietnam and the Republic of the Philippines.
So, what is the significance of this relationship between Vietnam and the Philippines?
Yeah. Well, actually, you know that the relations between the Philippines and Vietnam began centuries ago, and they were proof that the inhabitants of both countries were already involved in maritime trade prior to the arrival of the Europeans to our two countries. And they were proof that ships from Luzon in the Philippines archipelago came to the great port of Vietnam in the Gulf of Tonkin for trade. And also there were proofs that the ships from Vietnam also arrived in the Philippines at that time already. Only maritime relations were disrupted sometime after that, with the conquest of the Philippines by the Spaniards, and also the conquest of Vietnam by the French in the 19th century. But still, after that, we continue to have relations, even when we were having a war with the Americans.
With the US,
But only after 1975, when we reunited the whole country. Only just 1 year after that, in 1976, on the 12th of July 1976, the two countries officially established the formal diplomatic relations. So, and from that on, the two countries have developed a very, very good and
friendly
relations. And it covers all aspects of the bilateral relations between two countries. And I'm very, very happy to see that in every aspect of cooperation between the two countries, from politics, economics,
cultural,
security,
yes,
cultural, educational, are developing at a very, very fast pace. And actually, the relations between our two countries, two governments, two peoples, are now getting closer and closer based on several factors. First, in politics, the two countries are sharing a lot of concerns in common. Well, one of the concerns here, I think that is not totally negative. But we are members of ASEAN. A very, very strong, very united community.
When did Vietnam become a member of ASEAN? Do you remember?
In 1995.
1995,
In 1995. And actually, for me, I still remember, I remember it very well because at the time I was in Singapore, National University of Singapore.
Okay, you were studying there.
And I wrote a thesis
Yes, yes.
on Vietnam's membership in ASEAN. The advantages, also disadvantages,
Okay.
Problems and solutions.
But of course, Vietnam has to become part of the ASEAN because you are geographically part of ASEAN.
Yeah, geographically, part of ASEAN. At the time, there were about, before we entered into ASEAN, there were only about 6 countries who were members of ASEAN.
Yeah, so among the CLMB, you were the first one to join.
Vietnam
ASEAN.
was the first one to join ASEAN.
So of course you have the 5 founding members: Philippines, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, and Singapore. And then came Brunei. And then among the CMLV, Vietnam was the first.
The very first.
Okay.
And once we were there, we did help other countries from the from the other 3 countries which were not had not been members of ASEAN to become members.
And we have to accept that among the CMLB, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Vietnam is the, especially right now, you're the most prosperous country among. Actually, there's discussion going around ASEAN that it's not CLMV anymore. It's just CLM because Vietnam has joined the ranks of the more prosperous countries in ASEAN. Congratulations for this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Where do you attribute this? Actually, I'm curious. Where do you attribute this fast economic growth in Vietnam right now?
It is a very interesting question. But the first thing that helped us to develop so fast is that we have a very, very open
openness,
policy, a policy of openness with a motto like Vietnam wants to become friend with every country in the world.
Yes.
And from that, we have a very, very open economic policy. With the foreign investment law, which is considered to be one of the most open law in the world. And with that, we have attracted a lot of foreign investment all over the world. And the key here is that it is open and we allow 100% foreign ownership.
I like that because that is not allowed here in the Philippines. It's only 60-40.
Yeah, I understand that. Here in the Philippines, I do not want to have any comment on that. But frankly, for us, sometimes I have a kind of a comparison. I think that, for 1 year we can attract around, even almost 80
billion.
Yeah, no, more than that. Much more than that.
Because I remember I was in Hanoi December 2014. One of your headlines in your daily newspapers was there was some sort of a quote-unquote depression among the Vietnamese because they were only able to generate something like 20-30 billion investments that year. Compared to the Philippines, if we generate 3 billion, we would all be very happy.
I say, for us, 20 is a failure.
Yes, 20 billion is a failure.
So, and that's one thing. And the second is that we attract foreign investors. And second, we try to to have all the national strength concentrated on national building, especially on economic development from all walks of life, all roads, and especially in the rural area where we used to have poverty, rampant poverty all over the country. But in the end, we give all the farmers a free hand. to design their own kind of work.
Yes.
Also, the government has tried to help them to develop themselves. And sometimes subsidy, yes. But now, Vietnam has one of the most advanced agriculture in the world. And we export a lot of agricultural products. We stand second in the world of exporting rice. First in the world of exporting black pepper. Second in tea and cashew nuts. And also in aqua products. We export a lot.
So you really developed your agricultural industry. You're second in rice production
and rice
exportation.
Yeah,
because I know for a fact that some of the rice we supposedly import from Thailand actually come from Vietnam.
With the stamp from Thailand in there. We export a lot of rice to the Philippines every year because we have an agreement of government to government trading in rice. And we agree that every year Vietnam can export as much as 1.5 million tons of rice.
That's part of the strategic partnership agreement, which we will actually talk about later.
It's different. This is even before that. That's
so
before that, and that's why every year we export to the Philippines at least about 1 million tons of rice.
So that's the Philippine-Vietnamese agreement, the rice diplomacy.
Kind of.
I know.
But we are doing it quite well.
Yes,
and
I know.
We have never failed the Philippines' expectation on that.
So going back to what we talked about earlier, there has been a very long history of relationship between Vietnam and the Philippines. We were already trading, maritime trading, even long before the Spaniards came. So the Spaniards came to the Philippines 15th century. The French came to Vietnam around the 19th century. And even before that, both our people have been trading. So traders from the Philippines have been coming to Vietnam, and at the same time traders from Vietnam have been coming to the Philippines. And now we're continuing this relationship.
It's kind of traditional.
Traditional relationship, and right now it's rice diplomacy. But of course, one major point of this relationship happened in July 12, 1976. The establishment of the formal diplomatic relations between Vietnam and the Philippines, in which we are celebrating now, the 40th year of the diplomatic relationship between Vietnam and the Philippines.
All right, meanwhile, Walang Take Two or No Second Take, a Philippine independent film produced by the